Okay, welcome back. Let us continue our discussion with respect to abstract class. So in today's class, we will try to discuss these topics. What is meant by the signature of a method, overriding abstract methods, creating arrays of related objects. Let us explore further the object class and let us understand the usage of instance of operator. Okay, so we'll start with what is a method signature. So what is a method signature? A method signature includes the method name and the list of parameters. The method signature includes the method name and the list of parameter with the ordering, Okay. Here the important thing to note is return type is not the part of a signature. Return type is not a part of the signature. So to make it further clear, what is a method signature? In the sense, method signature, it includes only two things: method name plus parameters and its order. So important thing to note is that return type is not a part of the method signature. This is the first point or first thing we are discussing in today's session. Method signature includes method name and the parameter list, and return type is not a part of the method signature. Okay. So if you have a method something like this, int sum method int x double y string z, and another method short sum method int a double b and string c, actually both these methods are same, they are not different, because method signature, so for the signature of both the methods are same. Okay, so the signature of both these methods are same, because you recollect the definition of a method signature. Method signature include method name and the parameters. So here the method name is some method, here also it is some method. Here the parameters are int, double and string. Here also it is int, double and string. The names can be the parameter name may differ. That is not an issue. We are bothered about parameter type and ordering. So these two methods are same. Okay. And another important thing that we'll be discussing in today's section is oh, 1 minute. So in this case, these two methods has the same signature. So which is not allowed. You cannot have multiple methods with the same signature inside the same class. So actually inside a particular class, you cannot write two methods like this. They are not different, they are same. Even though they have different return type, with respect to signature, they are same. So you cannot have something like this. Instead, what you can have is you can have one method something of this format and another method something like this. These two methods are different, they are not same, because here the parameters are x, double and string. whereas here the parameters are double, double, and string. So these two are different. Okay. So here comes a question for you. Do these two methods have different signature or not? There is a method double, a method int x string y, short, a method int a double b. The signature of these two methods are same or different? They are different. Okay. Because what is a method signature? Method signature include the method name and the parameters. Here the parameters are different. The method name is same. This is a method. This is also a method. But for the first method, the parameters are int and string, whereas for the second method, it is int and double. So these two methods have different signatures. Okay. Right. Then let us come to the concept of overriding abstract method. So you know already what is meant by overriding. Overriding means providing multiple methods with the same signature in the superclass and in the subclass. So that concept is called as method overriding. Okay. So providing multiple methods with the same name and signature. Okay. Fine. Providing multiple methods with the same Providing multiple methods with the same signature in the superclass and the subclass is called as method overriding. So when you are overriding an abstract method, you should keep one important point in your mind. It is an error if a child defines a method with the same signature as a parent method, but with a different return type. It is an error if a child defines a method with the same signature as a parent method, but with a different return type. That is, assume that in the parent class there is a method which you want to override in the child class. Then you should override it in the same way how it is written in the parent class, including the return type. It should match. It is not that there you give some return type and here you give some other return type. That should not happen. So you should be cautious about this particular point. So here is a question. Does the following correctly override the parent's abstract method? So this is the parent class. Abstract class parent, public abstract, int compute, int x, string j. Okay. So the parent class has an abstract method whose, so the signature is, the name is compute, parameters are int and string, return type is int. And this is the child class which extends the parent class and it is overriding the compute method. It is using public double compute int x string j. Name is same, the signature is same, but it is using a different return type. It is not allowed. This is not correct. So this is what this point says. It is an error if a child defines a method with the same signature as a parent method, but with a different return type. This is not allowed. Okay, so this is not correct. So no, it's an error. Okay, so how should you define this? What should be the correct code? The correct code will be int compute x comma string j. Okay, and write some statements inside that because we are defining it. Okay, this is the correct code. Okay, so here the question is, so when you define, when you write something here, what it will happen? Will it override the method which is defined in the superclass, or it will create a new method, or it will create error? Okay, so if it is of this format, public input int x string j, so it is the actual format. This will override. So here the answer is there, to overrides. Okay. public int compute int stuff string str. Return type is int, name is compute, this is int and string. So this also will override. Okay, parameter name doesn't matter, only the parameter, only the one what we are bothered about the signature and the return type. Signature and return types are matching. Int compute, here you can see C is cats, int x and string j. So it's altogether it's a different method. It's not at all the same method. So this will create a new method. Additional, it creates additional method. Okay. Int compute string j int x. So here you are changing the order of the parameter. So this will also create a new method. Both the methods are not same. The signature is not same. So this will also create additional method. This creates a new method. Okay. Public double compute int x string j. Here the signature is same. Method name and type of parameters and ordering are same, but it is using a different return type. This is not allowed. This will create an error. Okay, that's it. So, so when you are overriding a method, you should be cautious about this. You should override in the same way how the method is defined in the superclass. It should have the same signature and also have the same return type. You cannot have a different return type. If you make a different return type, then it will be an error. Now let us come back to the CORD program, which we have discussed already. So in the CORD program, we will add some more methods to it. Okay. So the class CORD is abstract class, and it contains a method greeting, which is abstract. Okay. It contains a abstract method called greeting, and it has 3 subclasses. Those are Valentine, birthday, and holiday cards. Okay, there we have redefined the greeting method, and then we have wrote the card demo class, and we accessed all these things we did in the previous class. Okay, now here we are going to further explore that program. So what we are going to do is basically we are going to create 2 more subclasses for the class birthday. One is a youth birthday, the other one will be a adult birthday. Okay. So in youth birthday, we will write a constructor. Okay. And that constructor will take the name, and in our case we included only name, but this program included years also. So whatever it receives, it will pass on to the superclass, and then in the greeting method, first we will call the greeting method of the superclass. So in youth birthday, if you take in the greeting method of the youth birthday, first we will call the greeting method of the superclass. What is its superclass? Birthday. So how should you call? You should call super.greeting, and then you write the statements corresponding to in youth birthday whatever you want to display. Similarly, you have to write the code for adult birthday. So in adult birthday, it will extend birthday, write its own constructor, write its greeting method. In the greeting method, as a first statement, first call super.greeting, which will call the greeting method of the birthday, and then write something inside the greeting method of the adult birthday class. So this is the birthday class, how it is defined. And so here, let us try to fill up this youth birthday. So class youth birthday extends birthday. Okay, youth birthday subclass of the class birthday. Public, this is the constructor of youth birthday. Public youth birthday, it takes 2 arguments, string and int, string name and years. So this should be passed on to the, just we are going to pass it to the superclass. So just super. Okay, and this is the greeting method of the youth birthday. Inside this, as a first statement, we would like to call the greeting method of the superclass. So just we have to do super dot greeting. Okay, that's it. Similarly, you have to write the code for adult birthday also, right? Okay. So this is the code. I think we have also written the same thing. You can check it. Okay. So now you can do something like this. Youth birthday YB is equal to new youth birthday Sophia 7 YB dot greeting. Okay. Whatever it may be. Right. So here what what they are saying in the sense, you need not create an object for the youth birthday, rather you can also access it by using the superclass reference. I think you are clear of this. So instead of creating an object for the superclass, instead of creating an object for youth birthday, rather you can create a reference for the class cod. Cod CRD is equal to new youth birthday, some values, and you can call cod dot greeting. Okay. So here we are creating one reference for the superclass. Initially, it is pointing to a youth birthday object, and then we are calling the greeting method. So it will call the youth greeting corresponding to youth birthday. Then CRD is pointing to adult birthday, and then we are calling the greeting method. So now it will call the greeting method corresponding to adult birthday with the name as Walter and age is 47. And now the superclass reference variable CRD is pointing to birthday with the name Zoe and age 30. And again, when we call CRD.greeting, it will call the greeting method corresponding to birthday class. Okay. So the question here is this is correct or not? Can CRD can refer to these objects or not? Yes, it is correct. There is nothing wrong in this. Okay. Right. So similarly, uh, you can write the code for adult birthday also. Right. Let me show you the code. So this is the code. You can see this is an abstract class code which contains two variables, recipient and greeting method. And then comes the class Valentine. Here we are writing the constructor and the greeting method. Okay. So in that program, they included one more variable, that is years, which I have not included here. You can add it. Then there is birthday class, and then there is holiday class. Now the holiday class has two more subclasses. One is youth birthday. This is the code which we have seen there, and this is adult birthday. So this is the constructor for the adult birthday. Adult birthday string. We are whatever the name we are getting, we are passing into the super class, and this is the greeting method corresponding to adult birthday. First, we are calling the greeting method of the birthday class, and then we are displaying we haven't changed. Okay, and then we are creating the we are writing another class called demo which contains main method. We are creating a super class reference which is getting pointed to various objects of Valentine, birthday and holiday, and we are calling the greeting method. Similarly, what we are doing is we are doing like CD is equal to new youth birthday, some name ASFG and CD dot greeting. So it will call the greeting method corresponding to youth birthday, and then we are making it to point to adult birthday, and then we are calling CD dot greeting. So this will call the greeting method with respect to the adult birthday, right? So let me execute this code and I will show you. Save it. Dot java c hot demo dot java dot demo. Okay, so you can see here the last 6 statements corresponds to youth birthday and adult birthday. right? So I'll share this code. You can check and try. Okay, fine. So let us stop our discussion here, and in the next class we'll discuss about how to create an array of objects. So basically what we have discussed in today's class is we discussed what is a method signature. So the method signature includes only method name and the type of the parameters and the order of parameters. Return type is not a part of the method signature. That's the first point we discussed. The second thing is when we are overriding any methods, you cannot change the return type. Whatever the return type specified in the superclass, the same return type should be used. Otherwise, it will create an error. And then we extended the class. We have we extended the program call. Okay, we have added two more subclasses to the class birthday. One is youth birthday. The other one is the adult birthday. And we have accordingly added the constructor and the mm, greeting method, and we discussed how to access it. Okay, hope you have understood the sessions. Fine, thank you.